outstanding try where Connor was on the wrong pitch, let alone like ready to make a tackle there. I think try of the round for me, that Eden try. But it was fairly close other than that, wasn't it?
You say, like, it didn't ever feel close.
Right.
Like, we kept pulling it back to 10 points, but you never felt that we were actually... Oh, well, and then, yeah, to 4 points, but you never felt like, actually, yep, we stand a chance of scoring to make it.
So you always felt like you were chasing the game and it was a little bit out of reach.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, we've scored. We'll do something dumb and give them a score now.
Yeah. And I do think that Eden try was probably the only try in the game from both sides that really took much scoring. Generally, the standard of defence was weak.
Houghton's try was a nice one. I say Houghton. Yeah, Danny Houghton's try was a nice one from the kick. But yeah, all in all, there wasn't a lot to get excited about. It was a fairly dull match.
Yeah, and that Eden try, the timing of it as well, kind of came after you'd had a bit of a good spell, hadn't you, and got back close to within one score, and then that try happened, and the game had a gap in it again.
Yeah. So yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about from this game, or do you want to move on from it?
Yeah, just move on.
Piece of news to cover Hull FC related. Centre Cam Scott will be out for at least 3 months. I can't remember if we talked about this last week. With an ankle injury suffered in their victory over Salford last week. That's a real shame because he was good in that game, wasn't he?
He was really good. He comes in for a lot of stick from the fans, which I think is quite unjustified because he never gives less than 100%. And, you know, defensively, he's fairly decent because he's only a small kid, a young lad. And
who Radford never played to prepare him to play at this level.
Yeah, and against Salford, he was outstanding. And it was just such a shame for him that he got injured like he did.
I think me and you are Cameron Scott's biggest fans because we've talked loads of times about how he should get more game time. So it's just real shame that when he was starting to show it, that this has happened, unfortunately, for the kid. Do you want to take us through the Super League standings, Sarah?
Yep, so St Helens stay top with Wigan in second, both keeping their 100% records after 4 rounds. Huddersfield leads the group of 3 teams on 6 points with Warrington and Catalans making up the group. Hull FC and Salford have 4 points. Leeds in 8th are joined on 2 points by Castleford and Hull KR, which leaves Wakefield and Toulouse winless at the bottom.
Stat line of the week, it has to be the top fantasy point scorer of the season, doesn't it? Ash Hanley, 3 tries, 8 tackle busts, 206 metres, 2 clean breaks. I mean, there was a couple of other hat-tricks with lots of metres this weekend. Wingers were flying, but Hanley takes that stat line. Player of the week, who have you got for this?
I think I might go for Tommy Makinson again because, you know, his stats were good.
Yeah, and he scores some decent tries, didn't he? I've been lured into a narrative-driven approach to Player of the Week this year, Sarah, and that's why I've gone with Arthur Romano. I thought his second half in that game was a real good bounce back. Really impressed me. He was manhandled a bit in the first half, but he was finding his feet again at this level, a level that he's not played a lot of times at, and he popped up with a couple of crucial parts in this game, certainly a crucial try after a long spell out. The narrative wins it for me, and it's Arthur Romano is my Player of the Week.
Nice.
In terms of the predictions, last week me and Alan both went 4 out of 6. I stay top of the host Super Brew, and I'm wearing the yellow cap this week. You're second, Sarah. David's third, and Alan's fourth. I guess we probably all went very similar this week, and I must have just had slightly closer winning margins. In the main Super Brew.
Yeah. I've not been tipping teams to win by enough at Toulouse. I'll go for Wigan by 20.
So I think I did too, if I'm honest, but yeah, Catalans and Castleford were with the wild cards there. Like I said in the first week, Castleford are going to be the team that fuck up our Superbru the most. But it was a week where Cass fans had a good week. Matt Hopton, who's a Cass fan, he wears the yellow cap this week in the main Superbru, for example. Phil Naden climbs to the top of the table. I wonder if he snuck in a bit of a against his own team there on that one.
I don't know.
No, but he goes to the top. In the Fantasy League, Simon Andrew Arthur keeps his place at the top, although the margin is reduced after Neil Ormston hit a top-scoring 765 this week in second place. And when Neil finds his feet, you know how obsessive he gets about this sort of stuff. He's going to be right on Simon's heels, I think. There, so a race to watch as the season unfolds. Thanks everyone for their fan views, especially great work on that Cass game. Really good stuff as well, getting views in on all the games, given that so many weren't on TV. So we really appreciate that, guys. It helped round out what we understood of what happened. We're now going to fly through some other results from around the world of Rugby League.
Okay, so in other results, it was Championship round 5 and it finished League 34, Newcastle 18, Workington 4, Sheffield 54, Featherstone 22, Halifax 12, Bradford 21, Batley 20.
Shoddy and Mungo, our friend Alan, got in touch. He said, Lily might not be international quality like some chicken shop patron suggested, but he can sure kick a drop goal. We should have made that game of the week, but anyway, regrets.
London 24, York 26.
Dr. Hideous, our friend David, said, a lot less terrible this week. Bed sheets order cancelled for now.
Maybe you could club together with Rob and get a job lot.
I'm sure they're available on Rob's Megastore.
I was going to say, are they? Yeah. Whitehaven 40, Dewsbury 12. And the match that was on Monday finished Widnes 24, Barrow 34.
Yeah, Carsten said, a good start from the Vikings, but then the Barrow Entertainers started their show. If Wigan had a golden baldy edge, then Barrow have a magic one. And Neil McEwen said, well, that was pish. We made Maludi look like Greg Inglis in his prime. Did little Gregory win a competition to be mascot, but got a place on the bench instead? Tonight I realise how Fat Boy Rob feels supporting Cass. But on a positive, Emma Jones likes our pies.
Yeah, it was a good match, wasn't it? Did you see it?
I didn't see the game. I listened to the last 20 minutes or so on the radio, and it was Radio Merseyside. So it was Widnes based commentary, and boy were they fed up. But they did credit Hakeem Maludi for a really strong performance. I did see the try where he kind of got the ball, went away from the line, and then turned everyone inside out and put his winger in for a flying finish in the corner, which was very classy. As good as anything else we saw this weekend, I think.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I probably saw about the last 20, 25 minutes. Yeah, Barrow just looked good.
Yeah, and...
yeah, just nice play, really.
And it was two teams undefeated in the league this season, so... I don't know if Widnes underestimated them at all, or I'm not sure. They didn't have from what I can see from the team list and stuff, they didn't have maybe perfect full strength, but they weren't super weak or anything. It's a team that you'd expect to turn up and win at home. So you got to give credit to Barrow for what they did. Yeah, because
Widnes have had some good results. So yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, and that Whitehaven win over Dewsbury, I think that might turn out to be quite big in the final reckoning of things as well. With London improving, Sheffield looking strong against weaker sides. That could be a big win for Whitehaven / loss for Dewsbury. In the standings, Featherstone are top as their 100% start to the season continues. Barrow also have a 100% record but sit 4th on points difference, having only played 4 times so far. Lee and Widnes are above them on points difference with 4 wins from 5 played. York in 5th have 6 points, then Sheffield, Batley, Newcastle, Bradford and Whitehaven all have 4 points. Halifax and Dewsbury are the two one-win teams, with London and Workington at the bottom, still to get off the mark, and it looks a bit ominous for Workington, I think.
Yeah.
Loads of news from the Championship. Shall we rotate through these? I'll start with the first one, which is a bit of a blowout, I'd say. Sheffield must wait until May now for their first game at the new Sheffield Olympic Legacy Park Community Stadium, following a further delay. They blamed this one on the weather after blaming the last one on the pandemic, after blaming the last one on Brexit. So, all, I guess, real things that have happened and affected businesses. It means that Widnes will now be the first visitors to the new ground on Monday, May the 23rd, live on Premier Sports. Let's hope it's ready for that one. The Eagles had previously hoped to return home for the Championship game against London Broncos on Friday, the 15th of April.
Yep. Halifax Panthers have announced the signing of fullback Joe Martin for the 2022 season, following a successful trial with the club.
Championship club London Broncos have signed hooker Amir Baru on a 2-week loan deal from Super League side Salford Red Devils.
And Dewsbury have announced the signing of winger Ben Blackmore for the rest of the 2022 season.
Bradford Bulls have signed Jared O'Connor and Liam Tyndall on loan from Leeds Rhinos.
And York City Knights have signed Leeds youngster Levi Edwards on a season-long loan.
And to complete the loanee roundup, Barrow Raiders have signed forwards Josh Johnson, who I think played at Barrow before, didn't he, and Jack Wells on short-term loan deals from Salford.
Yeah. Should we move into the Wheelchair Super League?
Yeah, do.
Yeah, so it was round 1 in the Wheelchair Super League, and it finished Leeds 70, North Wales 20, Wigan 66, London 28, and Warrington 66, Hull FC 28.
Interesting scores there, obviously blowouts across the board, but Wigan and Warrington play each other next week, so that might be a more leveling kind of affair if they can both get exactly the same scorelines in round 1. We did get a review in on some other games, and he's gone rogue as NRL review. It's turned into NRLW review, and I must admit, other than a few questionable tweets from people with more profile than we have in the sport, I don't know anything about the NRLW, to be perfectly honest. But what NRLW review said is, try and comprehend any of this if you can. In conditions that are more what you would expect in Northern England, the mothers-in-law got the win 10-0. Poor execution from the slippery nipples led to all the points. Still some positive signs despite not scoring any points. So there you go.
Excellent.
I assume the slippery nipples are the Titans, but I have no idea who they played against. Yeah. Keep cracking on though in the NRL. It is the Women's Challenge Cup starts next week though, so we will bring those results to you with a bit more understanding of what's happened, hopefully. But that is other results covered for this week. We're now going to make our guesses for round 5 of Super League. And I emphasise the word guesses, Sarah, because some people seem to think we're coming in with informed and well-rounded opinions into this, and we're not. Rightio, Super League round 5 predictions, Sarah, and we start with your lot at Leeds on Thursday night on Sky, 8 p.m. kickoff. Will you be at this one?
I will, and I will be not getting wet because I have won a corporate box.
Are you allowed to turn up in Hull FC gear in that box, or?
No.
No. Who are you taking?
Well, so I got 4 tickets, so it's me, Joshua, Dad, and my brother, who normally comes to Leeds with us.
How's Joshua going to manage that? He's going to have a jumper on over a Hull shirt, isn't he?
Well, do you know something? The guy that rang me did say that kids could probably get away with wearing shirts.
Right.
As long as he has a jacket to go over it when he comes in.
Yeah.
So we get 3-course meal on arrival, half-time cheese and biscuits, and a post-match pork pie.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds cracking. I'm jealous.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Will it be wet?
You what?
I'm just wondering if it will be wet for the rest of them.
It's always wet. It's Leeds. It always rains in Headingley.
Only 10% chance of rain, but we'll see what happens. It does always rain at Headingley. But let's talk about the game.